Namaste and hello. I would like to just share my thoughts for a moment on the benefits of being nobody. And in order to get you there, I want to take you on a little journey through my life. And I want you to try and figure out what would it be like if you had lived this life. And I'm just going to hit a few of the highlights. I was born in Ohio in 1963. And my father was very abusive, and my stepfather was verbally abusive, and just not a pleasant being. He didn't physically abuse us, but he wasn't a nice guy. Um, I was picked on a great deal. Uh, I was kind of a sensitive kid, and I was abused, I was pistol whipped, I was tied to poles and beat and good stuff like that. I was grounded and all that jazz. I ran away from home really early. You know, the date is up for grabs, but mom says that I was about 15. I think I was younger, but we'll go with that. And so I took off. I ran away. And I traveled around the country. I became a street performer. I escaped from two highway serial killers by jumping out of moving vehicles. Um, I was robbed to nothing but the clothes on my back 7 times. I rarely stayed in one spot for very long. I wasn't running from anything. It's just there was no reason to be here. It's like I'd be here for a little while and then, ooh, I haven't been over there. Let me go see what's over there. And I just traveled around. I learned how to be a street performer, twisting balloon animals and things like that. And I also was pretty good at movement, dance, and stuff like that. Even though when I was young, my mom took me to the hospital to find out why I was so uncoordinated. I had to sneak up on a glass of water to drink it. And throw me a ball, I absolutely guarantee you could throw it over there and I'll put my face right in front of it. Anyway, so anyway, there for a while, I was a professional stripper. I became a ballroom and social style dance instructor and worked with millionaires and all kinds of really lovely people and all different walks of life. And I became a manager of a dance studio and for a short time. And I just, even when I stayed in one town, I kind of moved around in the town. And so I've just kind of been roaming around pretty much all my life. Um, I'm not one for keeping in touch with people. Usually they need to make the effort long enough to get me in the habit of doing it because most of my early formulative lifetime was not didn't have anything didn't have much contact, you know. Um, the people I met this week and was friendly with this week, we might go party or go dance or whatever, and then I'd never see them again. And then I'd go on to the next town or wherever and start all over. And starting over it wasn't a matter of starting over. It's just I never stopped starting over. It's like everywhere I went, I was just starting over. It's all just starting over. The stuff I got is of no value, other than, it's temporary comfort, but it's no importance. And I have no compunction whatsoever about my ability, or no lack of confidence whatsoever about my ability to, if I, for whatever reason, needed to walk away from the RV and everything I own, I have absolutely no doubt whatsoever I'd be fine. It's like, yeah, okay, cool. I get to start over again. How cool is that? And now I've been an entertainer all my life. And so, as you can imagine, entertainers want to be famous. They want to be known. They want to be admired. That's part of the gig. Yeah, I wanted to prove that I was somebody. I was raised to believe I was nobody. And now, when I'm saying nobody in this instance, I'm saying it in the traditional way of that you would imagine. It was like I was nobody. There was a non-entity type of thing, and that was a poor, oh, you victim, major, whatever. Thinking you're a piece of dirt type of thing. Okay, that's if you're thinking you're a piece of dirt, then you're still thinking that you're somebody, right? Being nobody is beyond that. But anyway, so and actually that's where I was planning on going with this little talk, was what it's like to be nobody. Now, still cruising along with me on my little journey of past lives. Imagine this. In every town that I would go to, not every town, sometimes, frequently, I would completely change who I was. And again, not because I was hiding from anything, but just because I could. I tried on personas, like clothing. I'd be a businessman or a mechanic or a cowboy or whatever, and I would do some study on it, and I would go into that town, and I'm there in town for a week, and so for a week I would pretend to be this individual who was in whatever get up I was in at that time. And I mean, it was like I could be anybody at all. Always, anybody. Who would you be if you could be anybody you wanted to? Right? If you could leave wherever you're at and go on into another town and be whoever you wanted to, knowing that you're going to be fine, who would you be? Wouldn't you try a few? That's what this life is like for me. It's really strange. I don't think it's common. It might be. I don't know. I don't know what your life is like. This is just what's going on for me right now. And so, over a period of 60 years now, I have tried on a whole lot of different clothes in the form of personality and mannerisms and things like that. And what happens with that, at least in my case, what I see coming out of that, as far as my personality and my ego and all that jazz is concerned, is it's kind of like I tried them all, and that helped me realize that I am just me. I can be all those. I can. That's why I'm a fairly decent teacher. I've been told, is because I know how to. I can relate anything to anything in many different ways. Because I see it. I've lived it. It's weird. And so anyway, coming around to now. Now, first off, I never, ever, ever, when I was young, I never dreamt that I would be an old white-haired guy in an old RV, hauling a motorcycle, traveling around, living in this lifestyle. And this RV doesn't have a fridge. The fridge broke last February or something like that. I've been living without a fridge. And my generator broke, and too expensive to fix. So I just, okay, no worries. And, and my furnace doesn't work. And it's like, okay. I'll make do. And my stove works. I don't know how to use it, but it's there. It works. Anyway, so I never dreamt that I would be this kind of person, right? Nor did I ever realize that this kind of person could be as happy as I am. No, had no clue. Um, but since I can be anybody I want, I know I can because I have. Um, I don't need to be any of them. I can just be me. And now I recognize something that Earth has been here for, 4 billion years or something like that. That seems very, the numbers just don't seem to add up for me, but we'll go with that. That was the latest thing I read. And I think it was 4.2 or some jazz. So, and there's been, 11 billion people, humans, existed throughout all time, up to now. And right now we're at 8 billion. And on all that time, how many just average peons are retained in societal memory? Do you remember anything about your great 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 grandmother? Know anything about her? Right? She was somebody just like you. Yeah, maybe grandpa. But you know what I mean. So, starting off the bat, just looking at it from a very realistic point of view, it doesn't matter who the hell you are. You're nobody. One of the anonymous masses. Okay, be there. Embrace that. Okay, fine. I'll start from that position. It's a great position to start from. What are you going to do? Screw up? Who cares? you know? It's not going to ultimately matter because you're one of the anonymous masses. And throughout history, people have screwed up all over the place, and here we are. Right? And so you try not to screw up, but if you do, oh well. Happens. So, I was talking with a friend about being nobody, and they didn't. They misunderstood me because they didn't have the background of what I meant by nobody. And Ram Dass used to say something to the effect of, he made a movie, Becoming Nobody. And he was the one that kind of gave me a language to be able to speak about that experience because it was the experience that I was having, was going on in my own life and had for some time. Because who would you be? I mean, seriously now. Whatever your background is, see if you can set all that aside and come at it from my angle of being an abused kid, running away from home, becoming a stripper, getting involved in that weird sexual stuff, all that jazz, and then becoming a dance teacher, and I twist balloons for kids. That's my greatest joy is I get to twist balloons for kids. It's so much fun. Do you know I've been spontaneously hugged by over 10,000 other people's children in my lifetime? I have been so blessed and so honored to be able to serve all these little beings. And what's really cool is Most of those spontaneous hugs came from shy kids, the ones where the parents would say, "Oh, she's shy," you know. And I'd be sitting down there on my little three-legged stool, and by the time I'm drawing a face on the little teddy bear, the little girl's kind of hanging on my knee, or on my shoulder or something. And I give it to them, and they squeal and give me a big hug. I mean, how can you not feel in the face of that joyful innocence? Oh my God. It's the most awesome feeling. It really, really is. I don't know where I'm going with this now. I'm just kind of floating along, and you just kind of travel with me if you want, or you know where the off button is. But yeah, so okay. Now, I don't know how I became this guy that I seem to be able to float around in social spaces, and people are always just very pleasant and very nice and joyful, and I interact with any of them like they're my brother or sister. They're my buddy. I just I don't I don't care. Everybody I see is just a friend. I may not have. I may not know their name. I may have never seen them before, never see them again. But well, that's kind of the way my life's been. you know, just different time intervals of people coming and going. So my whole life is just this kind of conveyor belt of beautiful people that wander around and every grit. Go sit on a street corner somewhere and watch people travel around. You know, that's my life, and it used to be hard. Um, I had my life was not an easy life. I've never really had money of any sort. I've been broke way more. And when I say broke, I mean no money at all, nothing. Um, a lot of times. Of course, I wasn't in debt. I didn't own anything. And but for me, it was kind of like always an adventure. Pretty much everything that happens in life, it's just an adventure. Sometimes it's pleasant, sometimes it's not. I'm on the tail end of a really bad gout attack. Yay me! I've made it to the old man stage, and I've earned this color. I just wanted to share some of this stuff. You know, I walk around. I was down here at Walmart earlier today, and I like I say, I am just everybody's friend, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know what they think. They probably think I'm some weirdo, but they're pleasant, and they very, very, very often thank me for whatever the interaction is. I mean, it's extremely common for them to thank me, and I'm just playing with them. It's fun. I'm literally playing like a child, and everybody's in my sandbox, and we're all just having a good time. And it's not that hard. It's not that hard to do. To get there, to be that kind of guy. Now, others might think that I don't have propriety or some sort of thing, maybe I'm uncouth or something like that. And yeah, I'm a mess. I have never learned how to organize. And anyway, but no, to get to the point where you're comfortable with who you are. Becoming nobody means you don't try and be somebody special, because somebody special is something that somebody else thinks about you. But just have an intention for a great life. Have an intention to be happy. Have an intention to make it to where each interaction that you have with somebody, you want them to walk away from it thinking, okay, well, that was a good use of my however much time you put into it. Because I recognize that while I have put in thus far 21 minutes into this of my personal life, the minutes of my life, I'll never get back, they're priceless. I've put that into this talk. You have also put in that much time in watching it if you're still with me now, and for which I am honored that that would be how you would choose to spend your time. That's really cool. So, anyway, there you go. I'll let you go. Not because I want to. I'm having fun talking, but it's a long time. So, happy holidays or happy day.